Hey ladies and gentlemen, how you guys been doing? It's your boys in here and welcome to week 5 as we're about to face, I believe they're called Phoenix Sunflora, Riz here. And I was mostly predicting all the mons outside of his Mega Latios not being used. So I'm pretty surprised on that regard. But with that being said, let's go right into this battle, shall we? I'm gonna lead with Rotom, my Hollow Static is gonna lead with his Snorlax. And basically I'm just gonna trick it. Now I'm kinda a bit worried that he may predict me to Volt switching out to Nidoqueen being immune to it, and I'm Scarf, and if he switches out to Nidoqueen we're just gonna exchange Scarf, which is gonna be problematic. But he actually stays in, knowing that normally he can definitely take this on if he's got a Cleric Clefable to back it up in case I got Will-O-Wisp, on top of it all. But that's exactly what happens. So I actually managed to trick that Mon and definitely lock him and limit him, considering my team is very fast. And funnily enough, my team is still faster than, I got not a single Pokemon that's like slower than a freaking Snorlax with Scarf. Snorlax is very slow, but that's a bit of a shame here, because he will not be able to outspeed any of my Mons while being, locked into a move. So I'm actually expecting him to either switch out, but he actually stays in, and Psyshock was there for the Nidoqueen switch, predicting the Moonblast, of course, but or general rock type stab that this Pokemon does possess, but he doesn't do that. Now he actually makes an exceptional move, switches out to Nidoqueen, knowing that I will not Psyshock again, judging by the damage he's been doing. I will probably preserve it by switching out to Cobalion, and after that I make a great prediction, not really a great prediction, but basically on our prediction, predicting the Earthquake. In case he has Scarf, he could be Life Orb, but I'm doubting. I think he has Scarf. Looking at my team, a Scarf Nidoqueen can really work well, especially if I got like a speed invested Tentacruel, and generally my team is really fast, so he must have a Scarfer somewhere in his team, and I'm thinking that Nidoqueen is one of them. This Jirachi could potentially also be a Scarfer. Anyways, I do go for the Draco Meteor, expecting him to maybe, just maybe he will stay and go for the attack, who knows. But I don't think Clefable is gonna come in. I do have Flash Cannon. Jirachi is the one coming in, probably scouting if I got Flash Cannon. And afterwards, I do go for the Thunder Wave on the Clefable switch. So also, if he stays in, he doesn't get any hacks involved, I will paralyze his Jirachi and make Clefable play a Cleric for a turn or two, and pretty much proceed to go from there. So I do manage to paralyze Yellow Magic in the game, switch out, get some paralyzation, which is great. I'm actually gonna praise the paralyzation in the League format, and the reason is because I keep on hearing people saying I like to slow down Pokemons like Slowbro, and I do apologize for all the hacks that happens, paralyzations. No, you want that to happen. Stop lying. So anyways, because paralyzation is pretty good. Anyways, I'm gonna go for a Moonblast here, expecting him to predict me to Psyshock, basically expecting the Nidoqueen here. But now I'm debating whether or not I should Psyshock or just go for the Moonblast, and the temptation of doing damage against a Crocoon is way too great. So I'm actually gonna go for the Moonblast again, and Nidoqueen again damage like this on the switch basically means that a +2 Ice Shard from Weavile can take it out. This is important because I got Sash Weavile, and stuff like this can definitely work. So I go for the Protect here, Scout, knowing that he's Scarf most likely, and after that predicting him to predict me to switch out Cobalion, being immune to the likes of Poison Jab. This kind of gave me guessing whether or not he knows that I know he's Scarf, but I guess he didn't I basically want to think that he will over predict, but he actually playing it safe, and that actually did work out in his favor. Anyways, Weavile comes in. I do hope he's gonna switch out, because he will most likely outspeed me, and I don't want my Sash to go away, so I'll go for knockoff, expecting the Snorlax switch, and that's exactly what he does. Now I'm gonna switch out to Hollow Static, expecting the Body Slam, but what the fuck? Boom! That I always wanted to say that. And after that, oh man, that's a that trollish video. Oh man, I fucking love this. Rotom doing work right now, but seriously, I don't know what to say about that. I just wanted to do some proper damage against Snorlax, just a little bit of chip damage, expecting the normal type move, but the self-destruct was not one of them. So that was great. That was awesome. Anyways, paralyzation, some more Yellow Magic going in. I do manage to trick and stall his lefties, which is most precious to the likes of walls and tanks. especially like a tank like a Clefable. See how much damage it does. It does, one could say appropriately that it's definitely a tank. And barely managed to survive here. I could go for a ward switch. He may see this coming. I'm still very, very scared of the likes of Nidoqueen, but he actually doesn't do that. He just stays in. And I'm expecting either a Wish or another Moonblast or something like that, basically. But he actually does, of course, reveal that he's a Cleric. So this is why Snorlax staying in against Rotom with a potential Wisp was a thing he could definitely play with and not risk too much because he does have a Cleric. Still, he's at half range of HP, and I'm gonna go for Taunt here to shut him down from the potential Wish. If he's an unaware set, he can probably take on Leaf Storms and, basically stall me out of those. So basically I just wanted to taunt, but he actually managed to, really good, basic move on his behalf. Managed to avoid taunt completely because a Scarfer Jirachi isn't gonna be affected by taunt whatsoever. But I do manage to kill my Rotom for the likes of, getting a good switch for it. So I was hoping he's gonna U-turn, and that's exactly what he does. Of course I could have stayed in with Serperior, take a U-turn, but that would still do a significant amount. And after that, switch out to something, but I got only Serperior. Now the thing is, I got Serperior, but I can take a close combat, and then I can glare. Now I'm not too sure whether or not this is Scarf, and to be honest, he actually has 3 Scarfers: Nidoqueen, Jirachi, and Lucario. So keep this one in mind. This is not a priority Lucario. This is actually Scarf. 3 Scarfers, ladies and gentlemen. That's some Trip versus Sky Season 2 Championship going on here. But anyways, I'm gonna go for the Leaf Storm here, and don't care if he stays in. I got +1 defense, I can take it. If he's gonna go for the close combat, basically, that's just gonna go against him. Actually, it's kind of funny, the Hex actually playing into my favor because of contrary. So I'm gonna go for the Leaf Storm again. Seeing the previous damage, I doubt this will kill, but yeah, was that a kill? Yeah, it actually was. I was actually surprised seeing the previous damage. That was definitely bare minimum, but this one tends to go more on the high end of a roll, throwing the dice there. So that was pretty damn incredible from Grand Cock here, killing the Scarf Jirachi. Luckily there was no flinch, and basically proceed to go from here. So here is where I'm actually knowing that he will not risk it. I need to switch out to Cabalance. So Cabalance typing really doing work here. +1 defense Serperior, he cannot risk it. I may potentially even take a Poison Jab with +1, but then again I doubt, see how much Iron Head did from a Scarf Jirachi. So anyways, I'm just gonna go for the SD, giving some pressure here. To be honest, if I can kill the Suicune, I can basically sweep. I can kill the Suicune, kill the Clefable, take on Nidoqueen to a certain extent. I got Choppa Berry basically, taking on Earthquake a little bit better. And, the last Pokemon, Lucario, if he doesn't have any moves, I can basically just close combat. And even with -1 defense, I can take on Earthquake from the likes of Nidoqueen. But we managed to fail short. Now, I was having a debate whether or not I should Iron Head and then close combat, because Iron Head, minus defense, I'm not gonna get. But in case this happens, a freaking crit burn, then it is in my greatest bet to say that it was my better decision to just go for the close combat, not minding the defense, because a crit burn is something you rarely see, but Scald tends to burn. So if I would have Iron Head there, close combat would never take him out because of the burn, generally speaking. So I couldn't risk that, and I managed to make the right pull here by allowing it to go down with the likes of Suicune. So that's a really good exchange. If anything, a Crocune is an absolute being, and that was a max defensive one. So Hydreigon coming in. I think Hydreigon is the most expendable mon. He's got the Clefable there, to be honest, and if it's special defensive, just generally T-Wave, and don't want to be playing with that. Soft Boil. Yeah, I just let it die to see what kind of move he will lock himself into, and he actually locks himself into Ice Punch. Now, Weavile is frail, but you see, it's not that frail. So I actually expect him to switch out. Hopefully, he will switch out. This is a big turn, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want my Sash to be broken. I know if I can get a +2 here, if he doesn't have priority, this could be it. And he doesn't have priority, so I'm just gonna go for Icicle Clash, seeing how much damage I do, either flinch or paralyzation. I do manage to get that flinch. I'm gonna go for knockoff. Again, I can take just about any move from this because I'm sashed. I can two-shot him, no problem about that, and I got +2. Basically +2 ice shard. I don't even have to worry if my sash would have been broken. Still I would have speed the Nido Queen. So I'm just gonna Icicle Clash here. If this is unaware, this can probably take one, but it cannot. I did not expect this, to be honest. I was expecting this to be unaware one, but he's actually Magic Guard. I was actually a little bit surprised regarding Magic Guard because he's got Heal Bell there. But I'm just gonna go for a Ice Shard and manage to take him out based on the damage, as I was saying at the middle of the match. +2 was important. That Moonblast damage on the Nido Queen was important. In case that sash would have been broken, then I would have need to rely on the Purdy to take him out before he would have taken me out, because I believe he's got enough investment into speed to outspeed the likes of Weavile. So yeah, that was the match, ladies and gentlemen. What can I say about this Bell in general? I think that Riz played a mighty game. Mid-game, especially with that Nido Queen really pulling through for him. I think a Nido Queen switch was very risky in his behalf when I was side shocking away just a moment ago, knowing that the Nido Queen is most likely his win condition to a certain extent, as well as Lucario. Looking at my team, once Rotom was going down, Lucario's general typing and being scarred that he was, he could have, generally Rotom was there. As he was for Suicune, it was mostly there for the likes of Lucario, kind of like throwing them into crunching and stuff like that. But I can outspeed a Lucario one-on-one because of Scarf. If they aren't Scarf themselves, heavily invested into speed. But, yeah, what can I say about this Bell? I think Rotom was the MVP. And Weavile, of course, doing what Weavile is meant to do the best, being the assassin Pokemon that he is, going to the night and cutting some throats, basically. Rated PG. Rotom definitely pulled through there with a trick, forcing some switches and then stealing leftovers. And Weavile, it was a situation where it was 2 versus 3 Pokemon of his. And it came down to a 2-0 score. My Serperior being the last one standing, but Serperior could have been outspeeded by Nido Queen. So I had to preserve Serperior for some differential, being only 2-0, but it would normally be at 1-0 if I would play that. At the same time, I managed to still make the differential the highest I could possibly make regarding his team. Looking at it, Weavile cannot really go well against his team. He's really prepared for Weavile to a certain extent, but at the same time, I think that Weavile is one of those Pokemon that even if you're really prepared, one thing, going left and everything can collide by its hands of death. Hydreigon, I think Thunder Wave was the most important, if anything. Clefable getting paralyzed twice in a row definitely pull through some of those annoying recoveries, and who knows what he was planning on doing those turns, and maybe avoiding a move or two. So that Hydreigon with Thunder Wave definitely managed to get some yellow magic and supporting my team. Serperior doing what Serperior does best, being used against Suicune in general. This was the purpose of Serperior. Unaware Clefable could have been a pain for it. Mega Diancie, basically speaking, Mega Diancie was you going against 2 Steels, and Suicune, and Clefable, and Scarf Nido Queen. Let's say that Mega Diancie's days have been numbered, but what it did great, and that was damage on Suicune on the Switch. That was insane, intense, and I love that moment. And Cobalion could have pulled through if it depends if Nido Queen could have taken Iron Head a little bit better, but I could have taken the Earthquake even with -1 because of the berry I had. But the thing is, I managed to fail to take on Suicune. I did Calx, and even a Max Roll would not take on Suicune. Actually, that pretty much happened because of the leftovers. The leftovers definitely helped him out there. And, but the Sub Sword Dance is a very, very potent, very dangerous set, and I decided to go with it. So, basically, Riz, thank you for the match. It was a pleasure. I enjoyed it greatly. We are currently 2-3. I still gotta, get some stuff going on. I was going to this Bell, very relaxed. One of those moments when you actually need to, because really, it's like I didn't start to overthink things. I just play with my guts this whole time. When you actually have that gut feeling, you just play with guts. Like switching out to Cobalion, imposing jab, you listen to yourself in that moment and you play with the guts. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, take care, peace.